This video is made for adult collectors because
Hammond! You moron!
Hammond, we can't. There's nothing to be gained by it.
Hammond, you idiot! You reversed into the sports lorry!
No, you've broken my lorry.
You've broken it.
I didn't know genuinely that was an accident.
Don't just drive off, Hammond! Hammond! Hammond!
I know this is called Hammond because John Hammond created the dinosaurs for Jurassic Park, and here in G1, Wheeljack created the Dinobots. They both created dinosaurs, ergo they called this Hammond. But this is a Lancia Stratos, and it's a short figure called Hammond, so obviously I'm gonna think of this dude instead. There will be Top Gear references, but I will try to keep them from going overboard. No promises, though. This is Newage Hammond, their version of a G1 Wheeljack, and they called it Hammond. I really hope Newage sees this and names some of their next two Clarkson and May. Like, I know the Richard Hammond wasn't the intended name for this, but it's so funny. I would love for them to do a Clarkson and a May. But this is their Wheeljack, and honestly, I didn't really know what to expect out of this, but after messing with it a bit, it's pretty good, but my copy specifically has a couple of odd QC issues. Before I go any further though, sponsor time! This video, bleh. That's not how I wrote that. This was sent over by TF Safari. They have a wide range of third-party NKO items on their site and sometimes official things. And they have this dude for actually a super reasonable... Oh, no, it's sold out. Damn it, it was like 38 bucks. It was a great deal. Well, they have the other versions on here with way more paint, which is why they cost more. And they have a sale on a lot of other Newage figures on the moment, not to mention sales on other stuff. So definitely go check them out. Links in the description below. And if you use code THATTOYGUYSPECIAL 3% off, I know you can save a few bucks off your order, which is always nice. So thank you very much for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the actual toy. I dig how they made this thing work out of the alt mode parts. It feels similar to the MP kinda in its conversion, but it does some extra little flips and tricks to make the robot slim down a bit while using all those alt mode parts. Like, there's no fake bits apart from the green stripes on the front of the legs because they end up in a different spot. And all this from a figure the size of my index finger, there you go. He's so short and his name is Hammond. That's just still funny to me. He is also very clean from the back. Nothing's hanging off unnecessarily, and it's pretty well balanced, though mine has two parts that I alluded to earlier that I don't like. The first of which being the torso. It's a little bit looser than I would like it to be, so it does this a lot. Haven't seen anyone else complain about this, so I don't know if how widespread that is. It's probably just my copy. But the second part is this panel. It just falls so often that it is actually annoying. Again, haven't seen anyone else complain about it, but it is worth pointing out. The head is very Wheeljack. They nailed it, but it doesn't look right. Hang on, yeah, that's better. That's better. He comes with a few things: missile launcher, pistol, toolbox, and this orange thing that I forgot what it is because it's been a while since I've seen G1, but he comes with it, and you get a whole arm. Whole ass arm. This is the Build-A-Figure arm for Autobot Spike, I believe. It's staying in the bag because I really don't plan on completing it, so I'm just gonna have an arm lying around. He's on his back. All right. Newage Hammond has quite the amount of articulation. Like, there is so much going on here. For a figure this small, it's kind of nuts. The head is on a ball joint. You get some pretty nice tilt, not a lot, but you get enough. His head can rotate left and right, but he can look all the way up. Popping off the ball joint. You can look all the way up and all the way, well, not all the way down, but you can look down a little bit. Shoulders, they can do a full 360 degrees. They can go in and out. You can disconnect this transformation joint if you need the shoulders to shift down for whatever reason. And then I'm surprised this panel's staying in place. You have bicep rotation, double jointed elbows, a wrist swivel that is kind of hard to, I'm transforming it, kind of hard to get into. You kind of got to get your fingernail underneath the fist and sort of twist it. So it is stiff, but it is there. You do have a waist joint. Now the waist joint does get in the way of the hips. So the hips can go forward. There goes the panel. They can go back that far. They can go in and out, and you have your thigh rotation and all that. But once you rotate the waist this way, so this hip now is going to be blocked, and that's as far as it can go forward. So you have to do that thing. You have to move the hip first and then rotate the waist, and it's a little annoying at first once you get used to it. You do have 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and surprisingly all of this stays together quite well. I was kind of expecting this to be a bit fiddly, but it stays there. Then you have ankle tilt, and the ankles can go forward, and they can't really go back. But he is quite posable for being a toy this small, but he's really nice. I just wish this I can fix it, but like it is, I didn't want to fix it until after the video. But that's like my biggest issue is that panel. Even the waist is not as loose as I would have expected it to be. Like it does move, but it's not gonna flop around. That though, oh my god. So this being a legend scale toy that's pretty G1 accurate, the transformation you'd think would be complicated. And it is, but it's not overly complicated. It's organized well enough that I don't actually mind flipping it back and forth. It's kind of fun. All right, so let's put him into his vehicle mode. And the head does something weird there, and I've found a way for it to work mostly for me, so I'm going to do that. But start with, we are going to take the arms, and then we're going to take the fists, rotate them 180 degrees. This is difficult. There we go. And then you rotate the arm around and it's going to collapse in like this, and then that'll just collapse in like that. And that is, well, then you want to rotate this 180 degrees, and that's the arm all prepped. Now we're going to take the panels and fold them out. One of them's already going. Then you take this entire assembly here and you bring it up. You want to fold these bits in. I don't even know what you'd call those, as fins? I don't know. Then you take the roof of the Lancia and you flip it around, and then you rotate this 180 degrees. Fold out the spoiler and flip it under. Now, the head is on like a ball joint like this, so it can sit underneath here, but I find that kind of pushes on these a little bit. So the best thing I've found to do is leave it like this, sort of, and then just sort of tilt it a bit, and then it fits nicer for me. It still pops this back section out a little bit, and I'll show you that later, but this pops it out a lot less, I found. So once you've done that, you want to take these sections, bring these out, bring that panel out all the way, take the arm and fold it on that hinge until the shoulder fits into the little gap, rotate that, and then this will peg into the loose panel, and then you rotate this 180 degrees. I do wish these pegged together. They do not peg together. They only rely on the one connection up here to stay in place. I mean, it works mostly, like you'll see later, just pop out a little bit, but yeah, once you get that all set, we're going to do the legs. Now, this is where the waist becomes, the floppiness of the waist becomes apparent because there's so much weight back here. But to start with, you're going to bring the leg out, fold the hip around, and then bring it back down again. So do that on both sides. Then we are going to take this section here and flip it around. Don't fold this up just yet, just flip that around on both sides. Then you are going to take this section, bring it up, rotate it 180 degrees, and bring it out all the way. Then you're going to collapse this in and peg it in. And then you want to take this slow, because if you take this too fast, the foot will pop off. So you bring this out, you rotate it 180 degrees slowly, then you peg it together, and then you fold this section up. And that is one half of the leg done. Now, the reason why I say bring it up slowly is, let me just get this one prepped. Get all that up. Is if you spin it too fast, it'll just come right off. And then because it's on a triple hinge, it becomes really difficult to get this back together. There we go. So yeah, take that slow. But once you get that done, you peg all that together, and then you just accordion this in until it snaps into place. It'll peg into here and at the front here, and then you bring these panels around and they will peg into the sides. And there you have Wheeljack in his vehicle mode. The Lancia Stratos, the 190 horsepower 5-speed sports car. It's actually one of my favorites. They pulled it off pretty well here. Well, the race version of Wheeljack this is based on. It's so clean. Like a little too clean, but that's where the other versions come in because they have more paint. But I like this. It looks neat. It feels well built apart from the back. No matter what I try with the shoulders, arms, or head, it just never sits properly. Hell, it was like this out of the box. It just doesn't line up super well. But now it is no bigger than my thumb. It is quite the mass shifting. He has pinned wheels, so now he can drive around and flip over. Crash.
Oh, what a pillock.
And fire a person out the back, I don't know.
Patient to hospital.
It's a very fun figure, and I really dig it. The accessories don't store in the alt mode as far as I know, at least not on the instructions, but it's tiny. I do recommend it. It is a neat little pocket Wheeljack that does what it sets out to do so well, especially for the $38. I just wish mine wasn't loose in like 2 areas. And as a Top Gear / Grand Tour fan, I had to have this on name alone. Again, Newage, please, Clarkson and May. I will buy both of them. And on that bombshell, it is time to end, so thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.